Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Convocation Center, where the stakes have not been higher for these two teams. California Vulcans hosting the Fighting Scots of Edinboro University. The winner will get a bye, and the loser will host on Monday. My name is Hunter Garman, and join with me today is my good buddy and partner in crime, John Sabe. Sabe, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Watched a very, very tough women's game earlier on, a 2-point loss again to Edinboro. They've been playing the Fighting Scots really close, and obviously in celebration of Senior Day here today, honoring the 4 seniors for the women's team and only Kate and Hannah here for the men's team, and also the 10th anniversary of the 2015 National Championship winning team here for women's basketball. It was a heavy hitter today, but Edinboro came out on top, and we'll see if the second game will follow suit to the first, or if California can kind of change the narrative around and get a win here today, and like you mentioned, get that first round bye on Monday.
Yeah, definitely this game stakes a lot higher than the women's game. The women's game essentially locked themselves into the 5 spot. They will face IUP, I believe, on Monday. But here, the fates of these two teams yet to be determined will be determined by the outcome of this game. Both teams relatively close here within records and conference records, respectfully. California at 16-11, 11-8 in conference. Fighting Scots 15-11 and also 11-8 in conference overall. So, as we said, really, really close, really tightly matched teams for these two. And the last matchup between these two was a doozy.
Yeah, it was a big one. California fell to Edinboro up at the McComb Field. That was 93-85. It was a great game. I remember Shanker Everin for Edinboro had himself a phenomenal game, both just offensively, you saw him inside the post, just going to work, grabbing a ton of rebounds, and also working his way out towards the 3-point line, trying to facilitate that offense. And right now, honoring the lone senior here for California, Caden Hanna, the 3-year member for California, the 6'4" senior forward from Murraysville, PA, graduate of Franklin Regional High School, has had himself a phenomenal career here at California. Previously was at LaSalle University before making his way here, but Caden Hanna, one of California's most consistent players over the last couple of years, has found himself in a couple of different roles, coming off the bench, just trying to be that backup forward, and also has lodged himself and has made himself a premier starter in the last couple of seasons as well. He's been one of California's best players. I know Nate and I, a couple of weeks ago, we were down at Donnie P's in town, and we got to talk to Caden Hanna for a little bit. It was right after they had that big comeback win against Slippery Rock a few weeks ago up at Slippery Rock, so it was nice to talk to him for a little bit. Very, very nice guy, and congratulations to Caden Hanna on a great career here at California.
Yeah, Caden Hanna, as you were saying, that person on the bench who's solidified his position, you can see him sometimes when they're all warming up and they come together. He's always the one who's in the middle, getting them hyped, trying to get them ready for the game. As we start with the starters for each team, Sabe, who do we have for the Fighting Scots?
For the Fighting Scots, number 10, Shanker Everin, the 6'8" junior forward from Adana, Turkey, and a previous member of the Gannon Golden Knights. Number 11, Steve Kelly, the 5'11" graduate student guard from Whitman, Massachusetts. Number 12, Michael Dunn, the 6'3" senior guard from Washington, Pennsylvania, just up the road, a graduate of Trinity High School. Number 13, Bryce Baez, the 6'7" junior forward from Las Palmas de Gran Canaria in Spain. And finally, number 41, Evan Berger, the 6'4" freshman guard from Jefferson Hills, Pennsylvania, rounds out the 5 for the Fighting Scots. Their coach, Justin Jennings, in his second season at the helm here for the Fighting Scots, and he's done a great job at turning this program around.
Definitely has done a great job. And for your California Vulcans, the usual faces here. Number 1, Cam Pollock, the 6'2" guard from West Homestead, Pennsylvania. Number 12, Jordan Buchanan, the 6'4" guard or forward from Pensacola, Florida. Number 13, Donald Whitehead Jr., the 5'10" guard from, Hermitage, PA. Can't read here as well. Number 20, Dalman Alexander, the 6'8" forward from Fort Wayne, Indiana. And number 22, Caden Hanna, the 6'4" forward from Murraysville, Pennsylvania. Rounds out your 5 starters for California, head coached by Danny Sankum in his 7th season as Vulcan head coach.
Coming into this week, California was ranked 8th in the Atlantic Regional Rankings, and talking to our director, Gary Smith, maybe, and our sports info director, Matt Kiefer, maybe kind of played a factor in Wednesday's game. A 76-84 loss to IUP up at the KCAC. Always a tough place to play, but California just did not have their best game. Jordan Buchanan, however, in that one, 24 points for him, 4 rebounds, 1 assist. Cam Polak, 22 points, but Donald Whitehead Jr., 2 for 12 from the field on Monday. Only 7 points, 6 rebounds, 9 assists for him. I mean, he was able to facilitate the ball a little bit, but just a tough game for Donald Whitehead Jr. from the field, and he's arguably the Vulcans' best offensive player coming into today's game. 19 points per game, 2 rebounds, has 114 assists on the season. Going to need a big game from Whitehead here to clinch that second seed for California in the PSAC West.
As we've stressed before, a lot at stake here for this game in the Convocation Center. As we get underway, Everin wins the tip-off, and Edinboro will start with the ball. That's Steve Kelly who kicks it over to Baez. Now back to Dunn. Now he's going to give it back to Kelly. Kelly makes a move, finds Dunn on the near side. Down low to Everin. Everin gives it to Kelly. Kelly's going to dribble inside. Has to fight his way through. Donald Whitehead, spin around floater, no good. Rebounded by Cam Polak. Polak gives it to Whitehead. For the Vulcans' first start with the basketball on offense. Alexander kicks it to Whitehead. Back to Buchanan. Buchanan back to Polak. Thought about the 3. He's going to kick it over to Caden Hanna. Nearly has it stolen away by Kelly, but able to pick it up is Whitehead. Whitehead trying to make some moves. Buchanan's going to pull up for 3 off the side of the rim. No good. Rebounded by Kelly.
Yeah, some great defense in the first opening possession for either team, really forcing them deep into the shot clock, forcing some awkward shots from either side.
That's Dunn. He thought about the 3 over to Berger. Berger back to Baez. Baez makes a move inside, trying to dribble in. Looked like a double dribble there, but no whistle, and the layup is up and good.
A nice move that time from Baez, just trying to work out every inch underneath and really bided his time, able to just finish on that reverse layup.
Caden Hanna's going to pull up for 3, and it's good.
Yeah, not known for the three-point shot on the season, just south of 30% from the field, but if you give him that kind of space, he's gonna pull the trigger.
Great ball movement by the Fighting Scots, but stolen away by Cam Polak, who's going to give it the poster.
And again, not a guy you see get up there too often, but Cam Polak, only standing at 6'2", he's got the hops. He can get up there and got to get the game started right with an early energetic jam.
Give him the space. He will take it and use it to his advantage. Kelly on the near side elbow kicks it over to Baez. Baez works his way inside. Has it stolen away by Polak, but foul will be called, and it will stay Vulcan basketball.
And California are looking very active on the defensive side early on, really engaged on their markers, not really allowing anyone to get past them, and just getting some hands and some key opportunities, able to just poke a couple of balls away, force a couple of early turnovers, already 2 in the first 2.5 minutes here for Edinboro.
Whitehead kicks it to Buchanan, gives it down low to Hanna. Working against Baez, trying to get something going. Works his way inside. That shot blocked away. I believe that was by Everin. Now Kelly up the court. He's going to give it to Berger, who's going to pull up for 3. No good. Right into the hands of Buchanan, who's now going to push it back up the court for California. Kicks it over to Whitehead, who's going to pull the trigger for 3. Off the side of the rim. No good. Rebound bobbled around. Eventually picked up by Alexander. Give it to Hanna, who's going to give it to Buchanan. Back to Polak. For 3. Counted. It's good. Cam Polak with the 3 ball.
And an injured Fighting Scott down on the court, but California extremely energetic out the gate, fighting for every single loose ball. Alexander got down on the court, and it's the big man down for Edinboro, Schenker Everin. He's going to be hard. He's 6'8", 235 pounds. That's a whole lot of man down there on the court. Like I said, him and Alexander were tussling for that loose ball. Alexander got the better of him, able to get down, swing it over to Hanna, and a couple of key extra passes over. And Everin still down, just not really looking to get up, and looks like he's in a ton of pain. And hopefully everything's all right with him, because, again, he was such a crucial part to Edinboro's win. And on the season, he's Edinboro's leading scorer, 15.5 points per game, 13.1 rebounds. He's a huge piece for the Fighting Scots.
Yeah, it looked like he went down and was clutching his knee. Needs a ton of help trying to get up.
It looks like with the help of some of the trainers, he's going to limp his way off the court. And like you said, he's not one that the Fighting Scots can really miss. He is such a big piece of this team. And hopefully everything's all right with him. He can get checked out and maybe get back in this game. He already had, looks like as he's taking it off on the sideline, already had some sort of padding or protection on that left knee, but something to keep an eye on as this game unfolds, as maybe see him get thrown back into the helm. But California will try to now take advantage of a Schenker Everin missing Fighting Scots here.
In for Everin was number 7, Ryan Lajovic. As Kelly works his way inside, a nice take there by Steve Kelly with a layup, bringing the lead down to 4.
Last time these two teams played, Kelly 24 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists.
Lajovic gets the rebound off the miss from Donald Whitehead Jr. He's now going to work his way inside. Nearly has it stripped away by Buchanan. Great ball movement by the Fighting Scots again. Kelly on the far side kicks it over to Baez. Now back to Lajovic. 3 ball up, no good. That was Michael Dunn. Rebounded by Caden Hanna. Dalman Alexander going to quick pull-up jumper from the side. No good. Rebound fought for. It's going to be off the hands of Pollock.
Yeah, and even though California has been unable to convert in the last couple of offensive possessions, again, you see that energy. You see them crashing for these offensive boards. You see them just trying to go all out. And like I said, a win here secures them a bye in the first round and a home game here on Wednesday. So the stakes, like you mentioned, never higher here for the Vulcans.
Dunn looks down low for Baez. That one bobbled away by Buchanan. It's Pollock now. Quick Euro step, kicks it out to Whitehead. Over to Buchanan again, who's going to pull up for 3. Counted, it's good. Jordan Buchanan with the hot trigger finger.
Yeah, California showing some early ball movement, some unselfishness. Pollock drove it inside, passed it over to Whitehead, who could have taken the shot. Finds Buchanan at the top of the key for an even better shot, and that's how you're going to win a ton of basketball games. Is just being able to pass the rock around.
Baez works his way inside. Shot no good. Kicked out to Dunn, who's going to pull up for 3. Count it. It's good. Michael Dunn for 3.
And great work inside that time from Baez. Just misses the shot, able to fight for his own rebound, and as he's falling to the ground, able to find Dunn outside for 3.
Alexander working against Baez. Kicks it out to Pollock, who's going to pull up for 2. No good. Rebounded. That's going to be off the hands of Caden Hanna. It's going to be the first media timeout of the game.
And while we have a second, we can take a look at the team leaders for your California Vulcans. Donald Whitehead Jr. leading 19.3 points per game. Dalman Alexander 7.5 rebounds per game. Whitehead on the season 114 assists. Cade Hanna 27 steals. And Whitehead averaging 36.5 minutes per game for the Vulcans. And he's been the linchpin for California offensively. If he's clicking, the Vulcans are going to do extremely well. And we can take a look at the Atlantic Regional rankings coming into this week. West Liberty up top, followed by Gannon, Fayetteville State, East Stroudsburg, Westchester, Virginia State, Fairmont State, California, Concord, and Clayton in the top 10. So a ton of PSAC representation in the Atlantic Regional rankings. California coming in at 8th place. And even though they've not had the season that you would have expected or you would have wanted if your coach sank them, they've still been able to battle their way back. They've fought hard. They've done extremely well for themselves given the circumstances, and they've found themselves in some sort of prime position here to maybe potentially make a run in the PSAC tournament and beyond.
Yeah, as you mentioned, not the ideal season that really anyone was expecting coming into the season. I mean, coming into the season, they were ranked number 4 nationally before a lot of key players like Palak and Arnett and a bunch of others got hurt. I mean, good news for California. A lot of them will be back next year, so everyone looking to pick up where they left off coming into next season. And hoping they can make a nice run into the postseason.
And a good thing about a season like this is you get to see what you have in a lot of your other players. You got to see a lot from Alexander, from Buchanan, from Whitehead. You got to see what a team would be like without some of your absolute top-tier stars. And California, like I said, they've done extremely well, and they've been able to carve themselves out a nice season.
Lajovic pulls up for three. It's good. And that brings the lead now to 1.
The last game against California, Lajovic, 19 points off the bench, 3 for 5 from behind the arc.
Whitehead kicks it to Polak. Now back to Whitehead, who makes a nice move. Thought about pulling up, doesn't do so. Thought about again pulling up for 3. Jump ball called as Kelly was able to get his hand in there.
And great job that time from Kelly, nearly able to rip that one away. If the referees held off on blowing that whistle a second later, that would have been a turnover, as Kelly just kind of ripped that one away from Whitehead.
Buchanan able to get it into Whitehead. Back to Alexander, over to Polak. As the shot clock winds down, contested 3-ball, no good. But it's going to be off the hands. They're going to say off of Alexander. It's going to be a turnover in favor of the Fighting Scots.
And again, great defense so far from Edinboro, just forcing California not to get these shots early in the shot clock, winding things down. California rushed into some bad shots, and that time Polak's three-pointer blocked, forcing the turnover there.
Layup there, no good. That was number 3, Dante Wilcott. Buchanan's going to pull up for 3. No good. Rebound bobbled around, fought for. And they're going to say off the hands of Caden Hanna. It'll be yet another turnover.
And after the good start, California now shooting 4 for 12 from the field. They've really have been struggling after the first couple of minutes here to find some consistent offense.
Kelly up the court for the Fighting Scots, gives it to Lajovic, over to Baez, to Wilcott. Wilcott works his way inside, back to Berger on the far side. Berger's going to work his way in and pull up for 3 off the side of the rim, no good. Rebound fought for, and they're going to say it was out of bounds off of Wilcott, I believe. It will be California ball.
It's a game of inches, and Wilcott was on his back there after the pass was tipped to him, and he tried to get it back in, but just like the palm of his back right off, like sitting right on the sideline, forces the turnover for California.
Whitehead up the court now for California. Over to Hanna. Over to Buchanan. Now back to Polak. Polak works inside, loses it. It's going to be a turnover as he was unable to corral the basketball.
Yeah, California just looking a bit uncomfortable on offense. No points in the last 3 minutes. They've really have run into the wall. Edinboro doing a great job getting back defensively with numbers and really forcing California into some awkward shots.
Foul will be called as Wilcott drives the basket. Will be a foul on the floor. It's going to go against Caden Hanna. That's his first. Some subs coming in. That's number 5, Keandre DeShields, and number 3, Duncan Moy for your California Vulcans.
It's nice to see DeShields back in action. Missed the last couple of games sporadically. I know he was dealing with, I believe it was bronchitis, and so he's unable to get on the court. Spark plug for the Vulcan defense.
Great block there by Duncan Moy, able to get his hand over the top, but just enough to get a hand on the ball and not draw the foul.
And Moy's another one where we've seen California have to rely on him quite a bit. The freshman from Kinsman, Ohio, has done a great job in some of his early minutes here in this freshman season for California.
3-ball there by Kelly, no good. Rebound eventually hauled in by Polak. Polak kicks it over to Moy. Nice backdoor look for Alexander. Has to kick it back out to Moy. Moy makes a nice spin move, drives baseline, tries to get it up, no good. Eventually comes down with a rebound, kicks it back out to Polak, who's wide open for 3. Off the side, no good. Eventually rebounded by Kelly. Wilcott now makes a nice move on Whitehead, drives in and gets the bucket.
Yeah, that was some great defense by Whitehead, but even better offense that time by Wilcott.
DeShields able to get his missed shot, puts it back up, counted, it's good. Now a 1-point game here as the lead seems like it's going to go back and forth. Berger left wide open, and the Euro step through layup is good.
Yeah, just some miscommunication defensively by the Vulcans, just no one getting back in transition, and Berger left wide open, and Alexander tried to do his best, but no avail.
Great take there by Donald Whitehead, responding back. Again, this lead change is going to happen a lot here unless we can get some three-point shots or some foul shots in. Baez to Berger. Back to Kelly, who's going to pull up for three. Off the front of the rim, no good. Nice strong rebound by Alexander, who hands to Whitehead. Over to Pollock. Pollock tries to make a move on Kelly. A foul will be called. They're going to get Steve Kelly on that foul. That'll be his first, team's third. And then it'll be another media timeout as we take a look at the Edinboro leaders.
Yeah, leaders in points per game and rebounds per game. Shanker Everin, who we said went down early on in this game with that injury, and hopefully if he comes back, he's going to be a big part of this Fighting Scott team. 15.5 points per game, 13.1 rebounds per game. Kind of the lifeline here for the Fighting Scots. Steve Kelly, 108 assists on the season. Jake Berger, 45 steals, and Kelly leading in minutes per game, 32.8. But in the last couple of possessions, Edinboro getting some good looks offensively. They've had a couple of wide open three-point shots, but they've just been unable to convert. But if you're California, you can't really rely on that for too long. If you keep allowing Edinboro to have these open shots, they're going to start knocking them down more and more, and you're going to find yourself in a bit of a hole.
Yeah, you mentioned Shanker Everin being that leader in points per game. And game against Cal the last time, he was completely perfect. I don't think he missed a single shot, or if he did, he missed one.
At 21 points for him, 15 rebounds, 6 for 7 from the field, at 9 for 10 from the free throw line. Only 2 missed attempts and one field goal, 1 free throw, but he was doing it all in that game for Edinboro the last time out.
Yeah, he would. If we look at the stat sheet that we have, over the season he has never attempted or made any three-point shot. He's been always within the arc, and that's where he's most dangerous. I mean, 6'8" and 200 and some odd pounds. If I can find him, 235. As you said, that is a very big threat underneath the net, and we can see Everin on the bench with an ice pack on his knee, so the chances for him potentially making his way back into this game are looking a bit slim. But regardless, California still only finds himself up 15-14 the score with 11-14 remaining in the first half.
Yeah, and you mentioned how he hasn't attempted a three-point shot all season. I don't know why he would need to. He's shooting 67.4% on the season, 147 for 218 field goal attempts, all within the paint. I mean, he's been lights out. He's also shooting 78% from the free throw line as well, so he's really efficient in and around the basket, and you kind of need him to be. He's been kind of that linchpin, which, again, was kind of left out of favor in that Gannon team, because Gannon, in the last couple of seasons, they've had that high pace, 5-on, 5-off kind of hockey style where you got to be able to run up and down the court, like relentlessly being able to shoot the three ball. And right now the referees taking a look at the table at a potential shot. They're looking to see if someone's foot was on the line in the last couple of minutes, and they're actually going to take a point off of the Fighting Scots. They changed it from a 3 to a 2, so that'll give the Vulcans a 2-point cushion here.
From what our producer and advisor Gary Smith had showed us, it looked like it happened around the 14-minute mark with that three-pointer that they were reviewing. As Donald Whitehead puts up the pull-up from the elbow, and it's good, giving California now a 4-point lead with 11 minutes remaining in the first half. Wilcott over to Baez, to Lajovic, over to a new face, Jonathan Anderson now in the game for the Fighting Scots. Back to Lajovic, over to Anderson again, to Wilcott. Wilcott makes a move inside, working his way in. Nice take. Fortunately, rolls off the rim, no good. Rebounded by Alexander. He gives to Whitehead, who's going to go coast to coast, kicks it out to Pollock, who's going to pull up, actually looks down low for Alexander, able to corral it, get it back out to Moy, who's going to try the long two, no good. Rebounded by DeShields, who's going to pull up for three. Count it, it's good. Keandre DeShields for three.
Again, California just relentless, continuing to attack the basket, force Edinboro to kind of scramble defensively, and even after the missed shot, California in good positions off the rebound, and DeShields that time with the spark off the bench gets the rebound, brings it back out for three.
Lajovic is going to try for three. That one is up and good. So a response by Ryan Lajovic brings the score back to 4. Donald Whitehead's going to pull up for three off the side of the rim, no good. Rebounded by Wilcott. Wilcott looks, finds Lajovic all the way down low, gets Alexander to jump, but eventually has it stolen away by DeShields, picked up by Moy. He's going to give it to Whitehead now up the court, who's going to drive in. No shot called. A foul on the floor. As we get a chance to catch our breaths here.
Yeah, I think Alexander, even though he didn't block the shot, I think that's what the kids call aura. I think he kind of scared Lajovic underneath. He got up there. He was hanging off of the rim. We got Blaze to our left now. I believe it's Michael J.J. Robinson in the building, acting as Blaze now.
No shot. Foul. No shot called. I believe they're going to get Hannah. That's going to be Hannah's second, team second.
And as he picks up his second, back into the game will be Jordan Buchanan.
Kelly now for the Fighting Scots. Gives it to Wilcott. Up there for Anderson. Back to Lajovic. Great ball movement over to Baez. Baez looks for the down low cut. Doesn't see it. Back out to Lajovic. Makes a move over to Anderson. Back to Lajovic, who looks down low for Baez. Foul will be called. I believe it's going to go against Moy. That's going to be his first, team's third, excuse me.
Yeah, Baez with some good positioning underneath. Moy just trying to fight for it as well, just trying to force him off his spot, and that time just had a couple of hands wrapped around him, picks up the foul.
Wilcott over to Lajovic. He's going to look down low, but a little too strong there for Baez, off the rim and into the hands of Polak. Polak looks over for Moy. Cross-court pass back to DeShields. DeShields is going to make a nice move over to Polak, trying to work against Anderson, work his way inside. Foul will be called as Polak gets hit rather hard by Lajovic.
And Cam Polak just so quick off the bounce, and you have to respect the three-point shot because he's one of the PSAC's premier sharpshooters. So once he hits you with the pump fake, he got the defender to bite in the air, and Polak, sensing the danger, trying to go up and under with the reverse layup, and he's able to work his way inside, draw the foul.
First shot by Polak up and good. As Michael Dunn checks back in for Jonathan Anderson.
On the season, Cam Polak shooting 92% from the free throw line, 115 for 125 coming into today's contest as he makes 2 for 2.
He makes 2 for 2, as you can say, nearly automatic. Kelly over to Wilcott. Now to Lajovic. Gets it back to Wilcott. Wilcott drives inside. Quick layup up and around. Is up and good. Whitehead now up the court again. Kicks it out to DeShields. He's trying to make some moves. Kicks it out to Whitehead. Over to Buchanan. Back to Moy. Moy is going to drive inside. Working against Baez. Gets the foul. And he'll go to the line for 2.
Yeah, Moy's strong underneath, 6'4", 185 pounds. He was able to just find a lane, get downhill, and it's going to be really hard to stop him. That time, Baez had to just get a hand on him, and that's going to be his second foul. So a couple of front court members in Everin, and now Baez dealing with a couple of different things. Everin with the injury, now Baez in some early foul trouble here for the Fighting Scots.
As Baez will come off, and Berger comes back in. I believe Moy made his first. Second shot up and good. Duncan Moy now 2 for 2 on the night. Kelly over to Lajovic, now to Wilcott. Wilcott brings it to Lajovic again, over to Berger on the near side, back to Kelly again, working against Whitehead. He's going to pull up for three. Off the front of the rim, no good. Rebound fought for by Lajovic and DeShields. DeShields comes down with it. DeShields now is going to take it coast to coast. Nice layup up and in, Keandre DeShields.
And that's what the Vulcans have been missing, just that energetic spark plug off the bench. And like you mentioned, ripped it away from Lajovic underneath and able to take it the distance the other way.
Wilcott over to Berger. Now back to Wilcott. Wilcott works his way inside, trying to find something, has it blocked down by Duncan Moy underneath. Picked up by Whitehead now, who's going to push it up court. Now he's going to slow it down. Kicks to Moy, over to Buchanan. Buchanan's going to pull up for three. Airballed it there. You can tell everyone in the Convo Center went quiet after that one. And that's going to be the 8-minute media.
Yeah, you saw Coach Sankum there, just telling him to calm down a little bit, and we can take a look at the PSAC West standings. Gannon already locking that top spot. California, Edinboro fighting for second and third, as Slippery Rock has already clinched the fourth spot. Seton Hill, IUP follow, and then Clarion and UPJ will miss out on the PSAC conference playoffs here, but a fight for second and third and a fight for fifth and sixth place. Either way, if California loses here, they will face off against a Slippery Rock here on Monday, but if they're able to get a victory here, they'll host a game on Wednesday of the winner between Edinboro and Slippery Rock. So either way, California, one way or the other, might face off against the Rock here in the Convocation Center once again this season.
Or they'll be facing off against Edinboro again this season. Who knows? Currently right now the score 26-18 in favor of the Vulcans. 7 minutes and 10 seconds left, as you can see on the screen. Not anymore now, but you could see on the screen at one point Blaze down there.
I believe it's JJ Michael in there.
I believe it's one of our good friends.
An interesting stat so far that I'm looking at. Cam Polak, 4 steals already in the game. He's been able to pick the pocket of the Fighting Scots a couple of times, and it's been very effective. Edinboro with 5 turnovers already in the contest.
So we get back underway here after the 8-minute media timeout. Kelly now up the court. Gives it to Berger. He's going to work to the far side. Now over to Kelly. Back again after the pass from Dunn. Back to Dunn, who's going to pull up for three. Off the side of the rim. No good. Rebound bobbled around. Eventually picked up by Berger. Dunn's going to try again for three. This time he connects.
Again, if you give him a couple of cracks at it, he will knock it down on the season. Dunn shooting 38% from behind the arc.
Whitehead up for three. That one finally falls. Donald Whitehead now on the board.
And again, the Don, there's just some games where you can't stop him. 7 points now already. Sometimes it seems like when he has confidence, he can just make any basket at will.
Dunn over to Berger. Berger now drives inside. A charge will be called as Cam Polak hangs in there, takes the contact.
Everybody's got to do it. Everyone's got to play their part. Sometimes you got to get underneath. You got to do the dirty work. You got to take the contact. And that time, Cam Polak, early on his rotation, able to get underneath, get in good position, and able to plant his feet and take the charge.
Inbound is to Whitehead, who's going to pull it up court. Quick jumper, no good. Rebound bobbled around, eventually hauled in by Berger. Now back to Kelly. Back to Berger again, who's going to drive inside again. Eventually pass out to Lajovic, but looked like a jump ball potentially. No whistle. Back to Kelly. Kelly kicks it out to Dunn. Back to Berger. Look down low. Foul on the floor. They're going to get Duncan Moy on the foul. That's his second.
And again, it's him and Baez underneath just trying to battle for positioning. They were looking for Baez in the post, and that time looked like he just got away from Moy, so Moy had the contact trying to pull him back, just trying to get in position, and picks up his second foul.
With that, he'll check out. Dalman Alexander will check back in for California. Dunn, who's going to pull up for three, no good. Keandre DeShields with the epic save, gets it to Whitehead. Whitehead working inside, kicks it out to Buchanan. Buchanan makes a couple of moves, back out to Whitehead. Thought about the three. He's going to try and work inside, loses it for a moment. Fought for, eventually picked up by Baez. Looked like he may have been out of bounds, but no whistle. Berger with a nice spin move up, no good. Back to Lajovic. Back to Kelly, who thought about pulling up for three. Doesn't take it. Works his way around, trying to get past a couple of Vulcans. Lajovic left wide open for three. No good. Eventually rebounded by Buchanan.
Yeah, both teams crashing the offensive glass pretty effectively here. Both on 4 offensive rebounds. And you see them just, you see a pretty heavy emphasis of both teams just really trying to crash the glass, try to create these second chance opportunities. As you know, it's going to be a tough battle when these two teams face off.
Whitehead nearly had his pass stolen away, but Kelly went out of bounds with it. So Vulcans get it back. Whitehead works his way inside, gets it to Alexander, who's right place, right time, gets up the layup, and a timeout will be called by Edinboro.
And again, just the mastery of offense by Donald Whitehead Jr. just so meticulous, so methodical. He was able to work his way inside and could have taken the layup, but knew there were 2 defenders trailing, able to just scoop the ball around 2 defenders and pass it underneath. And California up to a 10-point lead now.
Ten-point lead, as you said, 31-21 the score. Definitely looked a little bit different from this point in time at the game in the Macomb Fieldhouse back in Edinboro in January. 4:46 remaining in the first half. California looking to keep this lead going into halftime. Looking to secure that bye. Inbound is to Kelly. Kelly gets it to Wilcott. Wilcott. Back to Kelly. Kelly kicks it out to Wilcott. Makes a nice move, dribbles to the baseline. Has to try and kick it back out. Gets it to Kelly. Back to Berger. Berger over to Dunn. Dunn cross court to Wilcott. Wilcott dribbles inside. Quick pull-up jumper from the elbow. No good. Rebounded by Buchanan. Just hands off to Whitehead. Whitehead over to DeShields. DeShields finds Buchanan on the cut. Quick jumper, no good, but Dalman Alexander using the height to his advantage with the quick putback.
Yeah, just great offensive positioning that time by Alexander. Was ready for the follow-up every step of the way, and just when it falls off the rim, he's right there to put it back in.
Berger to Kelly. Kelly makes a nice move. Long two. No good off the back of the rim. Both Cam and DeShields trying to fight for it. Wide open down low is Alexander. Quick turnaround jumper. It's good. Dalman Alexander working his way underneath.
Again, that time he got out quickly in transition and was in position, and Edinboro tried to scramble back. And that time, like you mentioned, he's just so tall. He has such great height and such great length that he's able to just float that one over top.
Berger for three. It's good. 11-point game here in the Convo Center. 3 minutes and a little bit of change left. DeShields, long three, no good. Foul will be called on Cam Pollock. That'll be the team's 5th. And with that, we're going to go to a commercial right here. You're watching men's basketball here on CTV, CTV Sports 1, and the PSAC Digital Network.
The Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference celebrates the athletic and academic excellence of its student athletes. Last year, over 4,000 achieved at least a 3.25 GPA to earn recognition as a PSAC Scholar Athlete. Athletically, over 70 PSAC teams qualified for the NCAA championships. Champions on the field, champions in the classroom, making the PSAC proud.
An 11-point lead in the game that matters here in the Convocation Center. California 35, Edinboro 24. Winner gets that first round bye. Loser will host on Monday. Right now, it's been all California, but it would be looking a lot different had there not been an injury to Shanker Everin, one of the key players of the Edinboro basketball team.
And still, Edinboro without Everin on the court has still kept this game remarkably close. They're 4 for 12 from behind the arc. They've been able to, like with Dunn at least, knock down a couple of shots there. They've kept themselves within striking distance. And while we have a second, I want to mention, forgot to mention it in the first game. Yesterday, my dad turned 52. Happy birthday. Happy late birthday to my dad. And my mom also had surgery yesterday. Everything went well. Now she's all good back at home. So my parents on the up and up now.
Shout out to
John and Don Sabe.
John and Don Sabe. As the pass to Baez down low, gets the layup, no good. Rebounded by DeShields. DeShields over to Whitehead. Whitehead tries to get some movement going as Pollock's going to pull up for three, no good. There's a little bit extra contact off the ball, but no whistle. As Kelly brings it up the court now. Kelly over to Berger. Berger has a lane inside. He's going to pull up from the corner. No good. Rebounded by DeShields. Whitehead now up the court. He's going to push it inside all the way. No good. Now going back the other way is Edinboro. As Alexander able to get a hand on it initially, but Berger with the follow-up gets it up and good.
That's a couple of defensive possessions in a row where Dalman Alexander has really been able to influence shots in and around the rim. He had the way off miss on the last possession that time, forces a first miss, but a couple of fighting shots there for the putback.
Shot by Whitehead, no good. Rebounded by Berger. Gets to Wilcott, who's going to take it all the way himself, up off the glass and good. Coach Sankum not the happiest right now, but
he never seems to be.
He never seems to be during any game. DeShields able to haul that one in over to Alexander. Alexander, handoff to Whitehead. Whitehead's going to dribble inside. Quick pull-up jumper. In and around, no good. Rebounded by Baez, who kicks to Kelly, who's going to take it out. Kicks it out to Dunn, who's going to dribble inside. Kicks it to Berger for three. Count it, it's good. Evan Berger.
That was a great spin in the open court from Kelly, able to get away from Alexander. And again, California not getting back quick enough in transition. Berger left all alone behind the arc for three.
Just like that, the lead is now down to 4 with a minute and a few seconds left in the first half. California needs to get something going here if they want to maintain a nice lead going into the second half. Pollock dribbles inside, left all alone on the lane. Gets the easy layup.
He's just so great with the combination crossover moves. That time just able to freeze the defender for a moment, and his first step is so fast, able to just blow right by them for an easy basket at the rim.
Steve Kelly for three, no good. Rebounded by Whitehead on the long rebound. Whitehead's going to slow it down. Timeout called by California.
If you don't take it, you lose it, so you might as well take it. And again, a couple of shouts from the Fighting Scott bench is after that three-point attempt, Whitehead kind of in the space, maybe taking some away and not allowing a potential clean landing, but the referees let the game play on. In California, about a 6-7 difference between the shot clock and the game clock coming out of the timeout. They'll probably do everything they can to try to hold it off and get one final good shot here at the end of the half.
37-31 the score. 6-point lead now, as opposed to back from the timeout when it was around 11.
The Edinboro right now on a 10-2 run in the last 3 minutes and 12 seconds. They're 3 for their last 4 from the field. California only 1 for their last 6 on the night now, shooting 41.2% from the field, 38.5% from 3. They've gone through a couple of stretches where they've looked really, really good offensively. They've been able to knock down shot after shot, and a couple of stretches where they've gotten a little cold. They haven't been able to connect. So trying to smooth out that consistency over the course of the game is something that the Vulcans got to work on here as we approach halftime.
It looks like California will wind down the clock to potential last shot, about a 7-second difference on the shot clock and the game clock. Nice backward pass to Whitehead from Pollock, and the quick pull-up jumper is up and good. Final 10 seconds winding down here in the first half. Final seconds here tick away. Kelly has to try and find something, as that's going to be stolen away by Pollock. California will go into the lead, or halftime, up 8. We have another second half coming up here. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back right here on CUTV, CUTV Sports 1 and the PSAC Digital Network.
The Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference celebrates the athletic and academic excellence of its student athletes. Last year, over 4,000 achieved at least a 3.25 GPA to earn recognition as a PSAC Scholar Athlete. Athletically, over 70 PSAC teams qualified for the NCAA championships. Champions on the field, champions in the classroom, making the PSAC proud.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Convocation Center here. The score 39-31. California up over Edinboro. Winner gets the bye. Loser has to host on Monday. Hunter Garman joined with me by John Sapin. We've had an interesting first half of basketball, to say the least.
Yeah, it's been a bit streaky from either side. We've seen stretches where both teams offensively have looked really, really good. They've been able to knock down shots on multiple possessions, 3, 4, 5 possessions in a row. They've been able to come down, get some efficient offense. But we've seen times where the defense have really stepped up on either end, forcing both teams to draw out the shot clock, take some uncomfortable shots, and really not look their best out there. But California coming out of the halftime break on top. They've looked the better of the two sides, and you and I were looking at it earlier. Schenker Everin back out onto the court, but with the assistance of crutches, and I think more than likely that will be his night and potentially his season done.
Yeah.
Hopefully that isn't the case, but I don't think we're going to see him for the rest of this game.
Yeah, looking at some quick stats. Saw them on the screen, but going over them again. Edinboro, 13 of 35 from the field, 5 of 14 from three-pointer. Have not attempted any foul shots yet. 20 rebounds and 6 turnovers. California, a little bit of a different story. 15 of 35, so slightly better field goal shooting. 5 of 13 from the three-point arc. 4 for 4 from the charity stripe. 22 rebounds and only 4 turnovers.
Yeah, and looking at some of the sets even further in, California 5 steals compared to Edinboro's 1. Points off of turnovers, California 7, Edinboro 0. So California, once they've been forcing Edinboro into these mistakes, have been able to capitalize nicely off of them. I mean, it's an 8-point lead. 7 of those points have come off the turnovers. That's the game right there so far.
Yeah, take those away, and you're down to only a 1-point lead, and that game gets a lot more interesting as Edinboro starts off with the ball. Kelly gets to Lajovic, over to Dunn. On the near side now, over to Baez. Over to Lajovic, now back to Kelly. Back to Berger. Over to Lajovic again. Down low to Baez. Baez tries to force his way inside. Charge will be called as Dalman Alexander hangs in there, takes the contact, and forces the turnover and the foul.
And that's going to be Baez's third foul, and that time Alexander knew exactly what he was doing. Baez just trying to back him down, and you saw them throw one too many elbows into the chest of Alexander, and Alexander hits the deck, and now you have another member of your front court into some deep foul trouble here.
Pollock kicks it over to Alexander, back to Whitehead. Whitehead now pulls up from the foul line, counted, it's good. Donald Whitehead for 2.
And that first half, only 4 for 11 from the field, was really struggling, but again, a player where at any given moment can flip the game on its head and really take over offensively, and you can get him going here in the second half. It's going to be a long, long afternoon here for Edinboro.
Kelly over to Dunn, over to Lajovic now, dribbles in, over to Dunn for 3, no good, rebounded, nice and strong by Buchanan, nearly lost it, but able to haul it in and give it to Whitehead. We now see on our end, Buchanan was a little bit gimpy trying to get up the court as a foul will be called as Whitehead tries to push down the baseline.
And that's going to be Baez's 4th foul. So he already picks up 2 quick fouls in less than 2 minutes here in this second half. So he's going to have to go to the bench for a while. But I want to go back to that last defensive possession. Even when he isn't in the best position, Dalman Alexander does such a good job at just knocking shots off their rhythm, forcing players to be uncomfortable. He just has such a long frame.
Hanna able to try and force his way down, but Wilcott playing nice defense, and Wilcott 6'1", working against Caden Hanna, who's 6'4", able to get up there and contest that shot and knock it out of bounds, denying the easy layup.
Yeah, good read that time from Wilcott.
Buchanan finds Pollock down low and gets the dunk. Cam Pollock, 2 dunks on the night.
Yeah, what's better than 1?
2.
And he, again, just beautiful execution, great passing from the Vulcans, and Cam Pollock, if you give him the opportunity, he's going to try to take it.
Kelly over to Berger, who's going to try for 3. It's good. Evan Berger's been on a hot streak as of lately.
Yeah, a game high 13 points for him now. 5 for 10 from the field, 3 for 4 from behind the arc in this game for Evan Berger.
Alexander swings it to Hanna. Hanna kicks it back out to Buchanan. Buchanan back to Pollock. Pollock tries to work his way inside. Step back for 3 off the front of the rim. No good. Rebounded by Hanna. The putback up and good.
Again, even when the Vulcans aren't knocking down these shots offensively, they have players just in such good positions underneath to battle for these offensive rebounds. Alexander and Hannah have done a fantastic job at getting these second chance points for the Vulcans.
Lajovic has his pocket picked up by Hannah. Pollock for Caden Hannah, tried to find the alley-oop, but unfortunately doesn't fall. Fighting Scots now back up the court. Lajovic tries to work his way inside, kicks it back out to Wilcott for three. No good. Fought for eventually off the hands of Berger, and it will be Vulcan basketball.
I mean, that would have been the play of the game right there. And you saw Caden Hannah calling for it. At that time, a little bit too much on it, I believe, from Cam Pollock. Caden Hannah just couldn't quite get up there to reach it, and a bit unfortunate because that would have been a fantastic play for the senior here in his final home regular season game for California.
You know, if that had gone down, this place would have absolutely erupted as Pollock finds Alexander down low. Makes a little quick step move. Shot no good, but it will be off the hands of Lajovic. And it will stay Vulcan basketball. As Whitehead moves to inbound. Donald Whitehead tried to get it off the hands, or off the back of Kelly, but Kelly was able to turn around in time and get his hands on it for the jump ball, but the possession arrow will still favor California for the time being, so we'll get another crack at the inbound.
Some trickery there. Sometimes when you don't see anything open, you just got to do it.
Cam Pollock pulls up for mid-range. It's good. Kelly up the court now for the Fighting Scots. On the near side, cuts up to the middle. Travel will be called as he took one too many steps. Fortunately there as the three ball by Lajovic is good. But no shot will count, and it will be another turnover for this Fighting Scots team.
And then mistakes like that will cost you. Now it's 9 turnovers now here for Edinboro. They've really struggled to have mistakeless basketball offensively, and that's cost them. They're now down by 13 points. Can make it 16 now.
Jordan Buchanan for three. Makes it a 16-point game, 50-34 the score. This is 16-minute media looms. Jump ball called as Caden Hannah able to get his hands on it. Strip it away from Berger. It will be in favor of the Fighting Scots, but it denies the quick, easy layup.
At halftime, the Vulcans had 7 points off of turnovers. They're now up to 12. Again, they've really been able to capitalize off these mistakes from Edinboro.
Lajovic for three. It's good. Cuts the lead back down to 13.
I mean, that has to be the highest arcing shot I think I've ever seen. He really gets the ball up there.
It's a very, very high arc indeed, but if it goes in, it goes in, as he's saying. A nice backdoor cut, but the dunk missed by Caden Hannah. It was a great look by Cam Pollock. Unfortunately, that doesn't fall, but Cam Pollock able to get the rebound down now. Kicks it out to Buchanan, who's going to try for three. Count it, Jordan Buchanan puts the lead back to 16.
Yeah, the Vulcans just flying up and down the court, and you see them time and time again offensively continue to just get bodies forward off of misses, just try to run the fast break, and they've got shooters all over the court. You can't guard them all in California, capitalizing on that fact.
Berger for three again, no good. Rebounded by Buchanan. Going to give it to Whitehead now. You see now off the 2 missed dunks by Caden Hannah, he's now probably itching to get that one, as the nice pull-up jumper by Donald Whitehead is up and good.
Yeah, California on a roll now. A 5-0 run, 4 from their last 5 from the field. They've really started to found that stroke offensively.
Kelly on the near side, trying to work against Pollock, able to drive it inside. Foul will be called. That will send us to, I believe, a media timeout, the 16-minute media, with 15 minutes remaining on the clock. 55-37 the score, as we can take a look again at the PSAC West standings.
Yeah, the first seed already wrapped up. Gannon finishing the season on top, 21-6 overall, 16-3 in conference play, not including today's game. The battle for second and third underway here in the Convocation Center. California currently in second, Edinboro currently in third. The 4th seed already tied up with Slippery Rock, clinching that 4th spot, and then the spot 5 and 6 up to Seton Hill and IUP. And then again, like you mentioned, if California gets a win here today, they'll clinch that bye, and whoever loses here today will face off against Slippery Rock, or
I believe it was Slippery Rock, yes.
So whoever wins today, they'll face off. So a tough game, regardless of the standings. But if you're California, like I mentioned in the women's game with James, it's nice if you have that first round bye. Just you get an extra day of rest, maybe you get an extra day of preparation for your upcoming opponent. It's nice, especially going into the spring break where everyone just wants to relax a little bit.
Yeah.
The semester's been off to a whirlwind. It's just nice to maybe get an extra breather in, get a couple of extra days rest before your next contest.
As we come out of the media timeout, 15 minutes remaining in this second half, California finds himself up by 12, I think. If my math serves me right, I believe it does.
That is not 12.
It's not 12. It's like 18.
That is 18
Thank
points.
you. Clearly, my math doesn't serve me right after.
We're not math majors here, you know.
No, I'm a communications major. I don't do math. Anywho, 18-point difference here in the Convo Center as the Fighting Scots trying to get the inbound are able to get it into Berger. Berger hands off to Wilcott. Wilcott tries to work his way inside. Foul will be called. It's going to go against Keandre DeShields, I believe. The bucket will count, and Wilcott has a chance for three-point play.
Yeah, great strong drive that time by Wilcott. He was really able to just get downhill, and DeShields tried to go up with him, but just caught the piece of the arm, and great adjustment that time by Wilcott.
Wilcott makes the free throw. Will be a three-point play. Brings the lead down to 15. That math I can do, 55-40. Pollock up the court, gets it to DeShields. Back to Pollock. Now to Whitehead, who's going to slow things down. Try and get the offense moving here a little bit. Whitehead over to Buchanan, left alone in the corner for three. Count it, Jordan Buchanan brings it back to 18.
12 points now for him, 4 for 7 from behind the arc in this game for Jordan Buchanan.
Anderson tries to dribble inside, kicks out to Berger, who's been hot from three. There's another one to add to the tally.
He's now 4 for 6 from three. He's the game's leading scorer. That's 16 points now for Berger.
Whitehead trying to get up the court as the Fighting Scots are showing a little bit of pressure, able to get to DeShields, who's going to slow it down. Whitehead on the near side, over to Pollock on the far side, to DeShields, the no-look pass. Down low to Alexander, who's going to try and drive in, gets it to DeShields, who makes a nice move, flying in, gets the layup, Keandre DeShields.
Just spectacular moves that time by DeShields, just so elegant. I cannot say words today, just looks so great in the air that time, just able to weave through everybody.
Anderson's three ball, no good. Rebound eventually by Wilcott. Wilcott gets it up, no good. Rebounded by Lajovic now, who gets the second chance up and good. Whitehead gets it to Pollock, has to get it up past the timestamp. He does. To Alexander, who's going to slow it down a tad. Back to Pollock, now to Whitehead. Whitehead back to Pollock. Looks over the top for Alexander. DeShields from the corner for three. No good off the back of the iron. Rebounded by Berger, who's now going to push it up the court for the Fighting Scots. Berger tries to work against Pollock. Gets it to Anderson, to Kelly, to Wilcott. Wilcott gets a screen from Lajovic. Gets to him now. Back to Anderson. Anderson drives low, kicks it back out to Lajovic. Going to drive in. Foul will be called on the floor. It's going to be against Buchanan. It's Buchanan's first, team's fourth. As Duncan Moy comes into the game for Buchanan.
I want to take a second. Steve Kelly, the team's second leading scorer for Edinboro, averaging just north of 14 points per game. 1 for 8 in this game, 0 for 5 from behind the arc. He's really struggled to find that scoring touch here for the Fighting Scots.
Berger with the step back three, no good. Rebounded by Pollock. Pollock up the court now for California. He's going to push it inside, take it himself, shows up some moves, and gets it to fall.
And just like DeShields, he just looks so great under pressure, just able to weave through traffic and able to contort his body in such great position just to get himself an open look at the rim.
Kelly, that shot no good. Off the bounce from Lajovic, back to DeShields, who works against, no shot called. He was working against Anderson. A foul will be called. I believe it's going to go against Anderson. That's his second. Team's third.
The Vulcan bench not really happy about it because it was a nice hop step inside to try to slow down the momentum, create some space, and the Vulcan bench wanted that to be a shooting foul because it looked like DeShields was trying to get into that motion, but foul remains on the floor.
Quick pull-up three from Whitehead, no good. Rebound bobbled around, picked up eventually by Berger. Berger now working against Moy, trying to find something going here. That pass stolen away. Cam Pollock, who else? He's going to do it. Yet another dunk for Cam Pollock.
I think if you had to grade the three, that one probably not the best, but nonetheless able to read the pass again. That's 5 steals now for Cam Pollock. He was able to jump the passing lane and results in another easy bucket here for California.
Cam Pollock showing great defense there as well. Berger inside for the 2, up and good. Whitehead now up the court for California. Going to slow things down again. He's going to drive inside. Quick pull-up jumper off the back of the rim. No good. Rebounded by Kelly, who's now going to push it up court. Let his team join him up on the right side. The foul will be called on Duncan Moy as Kelly will go to the line for 2. But before that, we do have another media timeout. This will be the 12-minute media.
Media timeout. Fans, please welcome back to the court the California dance team.
Well, we were saying, I believe our director, Gary Smith, is looking for the Danny Sankum Show graphics. So if you want to hear more from Coach Sankum and Matt Kiefer, check out the Danny Sankum Show recorded live every single week right here in studio on the California campuses, available everywhere on anywhere you get podcasts, Apple, Spotify, also on CUTV Sports 1, the PSAC network. So if you want to hear more from Coach Sankum and our sports info director, Matt Kiefer, check out the Danny Sankum Show right here on CUTV.
As we always talk about with Coach Sankum, almost two-faced in a way. Very, very well respected, very well mannered when it comes to the Danny Sankum Show. Always a good time watching him talk with our sports information director, Matt Kiefer. But then obviously here on the court, you hear him yelling, you hear him getting into it. It almost seems like a completely different person.
And sometimes that's just what you need as a player. You got to have that mind or that voice, just trying to harp on you, just making sure that you're doing everything right, everything you can to be the best basketball player you need. And that kind of motivation can really move you leaps and bounds into becoming an even better version of yourself. And we've seen the success that the Vulcans have had. He's done a great job, and goes to a testament of his coaching style works, and his coaching style leads to a ton of success, and you'll see a lot more success as the seasons roll on over Danny Sankum.
You could also see that the players as well love their coach as well. I mean, they made it to the regionals last year. Coach Sankum in his 7th season as the Vulcan head coach. Well respected and well known here in the California area.
Steve Kelly at the line, 2 shots.
Kelly will make his way to the line. 1 for 9 from the field today, 0 for 5 from behind the arc on the season, shooting 75% from the free throw line, 63 of 84 from the charity stripe as he knocks down the first.
Makes his first, breaking the score 64-48. Looking to make it 64-49. Second one up and good as well. 11 minutes and counting in the second half. 64-49 the score, California up. Whitehead gets the screen from Alexander. Quick pull-up jumper from the elbow. No good. Rebounded by Wilcott. Wilcott's going to push it up the floor now. Decides to slow it down. Wait for his team to get up. Berger thought about the 3. Kicks it back to Kelly. To Wilcott. Wilcott cross court to Anderson, who's going to pull up for 3. Off the side of the rim. No good. Rebound fought for and picked up eventually by DeShields, who makes a nice spin move to get away.
Very crafty that time by DeShields, under a ton of pressure all around him, able to spin away, keep the dribble alive, like barely ankle level, just really able to maneuver out of that one.
Foul will be called, I think.
Foul number 11, Steve
It's going to go against Steve Kelly. That's his second, team's fourth. And they'll send Duncan Moy the line for 2. As Moy tried to get a shot up from behind the backboard.
Yeah, Kelly a bit frustrated because that call did come in a little late, but Moy kind of left the attempt a little short, and the referee deemed that to be the result of the foul. And a couple of substitutions coming in for the Fighting Scots. Ladovich back in as well as Michael Dunn here for Edinboro as Moy makes them both.
Moy makes the pair, 66-49 the score.
What's the math on that one?
I'm not gonna do that now. I've already embarrassed myself
points.
once. I've embarrassed myself once. I'm not gonna do it again. Berger gets it to Lajovic. Interesting move there, whatever that was supposed to be. Kelly makes a nice move on the near side, tries to dribble in, gets double team, finds Lajovic. Rebound in the hands of Lajovic again. Second chance, no good. Rebounded eventually by Moy, who gets it to DeShields, who's just going to take it up the court and slow it down and dump it off to Whitehead to get the offense set.
Again, that's a couple of shots in and around the paint where Alexander didn't get the block, but he really forced some tough looks from the Fighting Scots.
3-ball by Moy's no good as DeShields able to get the shot and the foul. As DeShields will go to the line for a 3-point play. And that foul's going to go against Steve Kelly. That's now his third, the team's fifth.
DeShields off the bench in 18 minutes, 11 points, 9 rebounds already. He's 1 rebound away from a double-double, and he's been a fiend in and around the glass.
So he makes that one for the 3-point play. Kelly now up the court, gets it to Lajovic, back to Kelly. Kelly down low to Berger. Foul called on the floor. I believe it's going to be against Duncan Moy.
That's going to be his 4th foul.
Coach is arguing for travel, is not going to get it. Caden Hanna will come back in, and Moy will check out. As you said, he does get his 4th. One more, and his afternoon is done. Hanna comes back in on 2 fouls and 5 points. Baez is back in also for the Fighting Scots. Kelly gets to Dunn, over to Berger, down to Baez. Baez trying to work against Alexander. Kicks it out to Berger for 3. No good. Rebounded by Buchanan. He's just going to hand it to Whitehead. Whitehead over to Hanna. Hanna back to Alexander, who's going to kick it to Buchanan. Buchanan back to DeShields. Thought about the 3. Gives it back to Whitehead. To Hanna again, who's going to pull up for 3 off the front of the rim. No good. Rebounded by Lajovic. Lajovic now on the near side to the middle. Back out to Berger. Down low for Baez, who beats Hanna. Gets the quick layup.
Yeah, Caden Hanna that time a fraction too late on that rotation. Nearly able to jump that pass, but just missed it.
Whitehead for 3. Gets it. Finally, he's been looking for one for a while. Gets it. Extending the lead ever so more. Kelly gets the screen from Baez. Back to Lajovic. Lajovic dribbles inside. Has to try and kick it back out. Gets to Berger, who's now going to dribble inside himself. Quick pull-up 2. No good. Rebounded by Alexander. He's going to give it to Whitehead. .21 game here. 7:40 remaining in the second half. California looking for that bye. Alexander lost it for a second. Going to turn around, pull up, and get the bucket.
California looking very comfortable offensively. It seems like everything they try, they're forcing mismatches. They're attacking the opportunities they need to, and they've been able to kind of run up the score here, outscoring Edinboro 35-20 in this second half.
Foul will be on the floor. I believe they're going to get DeShields. No, they're going to get Alexander on the foul. Let's be his first.
And California has done a great job this game, for the most part, staying out of foul trouble. We've seen them in a couple of games down the stretch here where you see a couple of players, especially Alexander and Caden Hanna, start to run into foul trouble, start to have to miss some time, sit out just because you don't want them to pick up more fouls early on in the game. But they've really been able to limit it. Only 11 fouls in the game for either side, but limiting the free throws as well. Edinboro only have taken 3 free throw attempts all night.
Well, yeah, you also see that, as you were saying, early in the games, some games you see Alexander pick up 2 fouls within the first 5 minutes, and he has to sit for almost the entirety of the first half then afterwards. But now he's only on his first foul of the night. Caden Hanna has 2. Donald Whitehead still has none, and DeShields and Buchanan both are sitting at 1. So right now, California being very disciplined on defense and playing just great basketball all around. And right now, they're up by 23.
Yeah, I think discipline's is a good word to use for. They've really been making Edinboro work every stretch of the way. And whenever Edinboro has been able to drive inside to try to attack the paint, California has done a good job at not being over aggressive, not trying to fight for these block attempts. They've been going straight up. They've been slightly knocking Edinboro off their spots, not enough to call the foul, but they've been making them uncomfortable. They've been trying to make them adjust, and Edinboro hasn't been able to, and that's forced them to miss a ton inside the paint, and that's allowed California to stay out of foul trouble. They haven't been able to reach in. They haven't been going for these blocks, and that's resulted in almost everybody except for Duncan Moy to be out of foul trouble and allow you to run out the strong lineup through and through for almost the entirety of the game.
He's the only one in foul trouble currently is Duncan Moy. Right now he's having a breather on the bench as the inbound gets into Dunn. He gets it to Baez, over to Berger now. Berger on the outside gets it to Dunn. He's going to pull up for 3. Count it. It's good. Over the top of Jordan Buchanan, which isn't an easy feat given Buchanan's size. But nonetheless, able to get the 3 ball to fall. Just like that is a 20-point game.
And again, it's one where it was good defense by Buchanan. He went straight up with it. Didn't try to go in, and Dunn able to just rise just over top of Buchanan and knock down the shot.
Whitehead at the top, kicks it out to Hanna, who's going to try for 3 off the side of the rim. No good. Rebounded by Lajovic, who's going to pull up for 3 himself off the back of the rim. No good. Second bounce off the side of the rim. No good.
Again, such a high arcing shot. It's really interesting to see the bounces that you get. That one kind of looked like it was going to hang around the rim for a moment, maybe fall in, but just missed off the rim.
Whitehead draws out the foul. He'll go to the line for 2.
I mentioned California's done a good job at limiting the free throw attempts from Edinboro. California's only had 7 free throw attempts all afternoon. Cam Pollock also waiting in the wings to check back in for the Vulcans.
His first shot by Whitehead rolls around and is good. That foul went against Jonathan Anderson. That's his 3rd, team 6th of this half, as Pollock comes back in for Keandre DeShields. Second shot by Whitehead, no good, but rebounded by Hanna. Give it to Pollock. Kicks it to Hanna, who's going to try for 3 from the corner. No good. Rebounded by Buchanan. Second chance again, and Caden Hanna with the grown man dunk on his final regular season home game. Oh, my goodness.
All you got to do is tip the cap. That was the nastiest dunk I've seen here in a long time. Caden Hanna rising over top of anyone. You saw him have a couple chances at it, and you know he wasn't going to miss another one.
He wanted that badly, and he got it. Holy moly, Lajovic, the putback layup up and good, but, I mean, you saw the bench, you saw the crowd. This place went electric, and I said before, he got that. This place was going to erupt.
I mean, that took 30 seconds for the Vulcan bench to sit down. They were loving it, and again, it's so nice to see Caden Hanna, just such a great player here for California, so consistent, willing to do everything the team needs for him, and finally pays off here with a nice dunk here in his final home game.
Caden Hanna driving the baseline, going to kick it out to Whitehead for 3. Count it, it's good. Donald Whitehead for 3. And now the crowd and bench getting into it here.
He had himself a quiet first half, but he's up to 20 points now in this game.
3-pointer by Dunn is no good. Rebounded by Alexander. Give it to Whitehead now. crowd quiets down for the Vulcans to set things up. Buchanan over to Hanna. Back to Whitehead. Whitehead on the near side. Gets Lajovic to bite, but the shot no good. That would have been crazy if he had that one.
Again, when you have a lead like this, it's time to just kind of pull some tricks out of the bag, show off a little bit, and a nice move that time by Whitehead, but you got to finish off the combination if you want to put that one on the highlight reel.
Anderson finds the nice backdoor cut to Baez. He'll get the bucket, and the Fighting Scots will call a timeout. 80-58 the score, with 4 minutes and 12 seconds remaining in this second half. And as you said, with a lead like this, you definitely want to see if you can pull out some of the tricks, see if you can get some things going, just to, I don't know, show off a little bit, as you said.
It's always nice. Like I said, it's the last regular season home game of the season. In the last one, I mean, spring break really started today, but one where you're going to have a decent amount of people here before they've gone home for spring break next week. So nice to show off in front of the fans one more time here. Just want to go back to that Caden Hanna dunk. I mean, your reaction enough. Too bad we didn't have an announcer camera, because your reaction enough was, it was great. I mean, him doing that's something I wish I could dream of. I'm 5'11". I can't jump like that. I can barely touch the net, and he was able to not only dunk the basketball, but he did
that was a grown
2 or 3 people.
That was a grown man dunk.
The last time I've seen a dunk like that had to be when Phil Alston was still here a couple years ago. He threw down a couple of monster jams in his time here before going to Loyola Chicago, but that was probably the nicest one I've seen in at least 2 to 3 years here.
Yeah, that was the type of dunks you really see like LeBron or someone do in the NBA, but now you have Caden Hanna here doing it. And, I mean, again, the reaction from the crowd, the bench, I mean, it took everybody a good 10, 15 seconds to just calm down and sit back down in their seats, because that had the crowd going.
And that's a dunk, too, where if you're on the Fighting Scott, if you're a Fighting Scott fan, or if you're on the bench, you're like,
that just happened?
You're just like, you got to apply. You're like, wow, that was something. Maybe some words that I can't really say on air, but you're like,
yeah.
Man, that was cool. Even though it happens to your team, you have to respect it.
Yeah. As we get back underway here, Whitehead up the court now for California. Gets to Alexander, who finds Whitehead down low. Tries to get to Hanna again. Just the quick layup this time. No fancy dunk or anything. Just a quick put-up layup.
Able to just spin away from the danger. Nice job that time by Hanna, able to just maneuver away from his defender and get another easy look.
Baez hands to Berger. Berger working against Hanna. Kicks it out to Anderson. Anderson gets the screen from Baez. Tries to try and make a move. Dribble inside. Loses it for a moment. Able to be picked up by Whitehead after the desperation. Caden Hanna tried to go up again. No good. Rebounded by Alexander, who came flying in to get it back. Buchanan, handoff to Whitehead now. Hanna almost looked like he tried to go for another dunk, but no good. Whitehead making a couple of moves here, trying to spin through, and they're going to get a travel call. He wasn't able to get rid of the ball after taking one too many steps, and that's going to be the 4-minute media timeout. We're going to take a quick break right here on CUTV, CTV Sports 1. We have 3 minutes, 7 seconds of action right here. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
The Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference celebrates the athletic and academic excellence of its student athletes. Last year, over 4,000 achieved at least a 3.25 GPA to earn recognition as a PSAC Scholar Athlete. Athletically, over 70 PSAC teams qualified for the NCAA championships. Champions on the field, champions in the classroom, making the PSAC proud.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Convocation Center. 3 minutes and 7 seconds left. California up 82-58. And we've had, I'd say, an excellent game of basketball so far.
Yeah, especially in the second half. It was only an 8-point game going into halftime, but in this second half, California has really taken things over. Shooting 17 for 31 from the field, 54.8% field goal percentage, 41.7% from three. So they've really found some efficient basketball here in the second half, only holding Edinboro to 40% from the field and 30% from three. So they've done the two things you need to win basketball games. They've knocked down a majority of their shots, and they've made Edinboro miss a majority of their shots. So you're doing everything right.
Edinboro for Steve Kelly. Kelly gets the screen from Berger. Kelly gets trapped a little bit, gets it to Dunn, tries to work his way inside. Gets it back to Kelly. Kelly finds Baez down low, working against Alexander. Shot knocked away, and it will stay. Actually, will turn into a Vulcan basketball. Floor crew comes out to clean up a little bit. It's the Shields to inbound for California, as Edinboro showing a little bit of pressure. Whitehead past half court. 2 minutes and 40 seconds remaining. Alexander finds Caden Hanna for the layup. It's up and good. Caden Hanna now up to 11 points on the night. Wilcott gets it to Baez. Back to Kelly. Back to Wilcott. Thought about the three. He's going to drive inside. Has to kick it back out to Berger. Berger working against Pollock. Quick pull-up, long range two. Off the front of the rim, no good. Rebounded by Hanna.
That was some great defense that time by Pollock, just really forcing Berger into an uncomfortable shot, just staying in front of him, not letting him get any sort of leverage either way and making him go straight up with it.
Pollock back to DeShields. DeShields thought about the cut in. Has that stolen away by Wilcott. Wilcott's going to go for it. Gets the layup off the glass as Pollock nearly had a hand on it.
And again, Wilcott did a great job of just reading that pass all the way, able to jump it, and Pollock tried to do everything he can to get back, make it uncomfortable, but great finish that time by Wilcott.
Hanna gets it to Pollock. Nearly had it stolen away by Berger. Pollock cutting in, showing the moves. Gets the layup.
I believe a timeout taken by California, but again, Ken Pollock just so good at maneuvering inside, able to contort his bodies in ways where he's able to slip through defenders, but also maintain full control of himself and possession of the basketball. I think that's the farewell. That's the final substitution. Caden Hanna checking out of the game for the last time and receiving a great reception for the crowd and a fantastic career here for California, and gets the standing ovation as he walks off the court in his final regular season home game here for the Vulcans.
As a near full sub change for California, the only one still on there is Keandre DeShields. You have to look at the roster sheet now, as we don't really see the bench players too often, as Duncan Moy is also out there as well.
Yeah, Seem Gunther, Ibrahim Toure, and Jordan Tavares check into the game here for California. Like you mentioned, some of the freshmen here just trying to get a couple of minutes under their belts here as it's the last regular season home game of the season. Just what a better time.
They are up 26 as Jordan Tavares finds his way as the cut underneath, and just like that, crowd's going electric for the bench players. Foul will be called. Number 5, Zach Cavana goes for the layup, and he'll go to the line for two.
Yeah, and you see the Vulcan bench. They're so supportive whenever you see some of the last guys in the rotation get some minutes, get some good highlights. As Tavares was able to finish that basket, you saw Pollock, you saw Caden Hanna, you saw even Keith Palak down there getting up, getting excited. And so you see these guys who often celebrate a lot whenever the Vulcans are doing well. They answer the favor right back whenever you see some of the other players getting some meaningful time here.
Cavana makes his pair. As Duncan Moy was charged with the foul. That was his 5th. His night is officially done. Jordan Buchanan comes back in. Gunther tries to make some moves. Gets it to Shields. Shields back to Buchanan. Buchanan decides to cut inside himself. Gets the layup up. No good to Shields. Almost with the putback dunk. And they're going to find number 24, Dejon Young, for the quick bucket as the response. As the final seconds will tick away here in the Convocation Center. California will take down Edinboro 88-64, bearing any other scoring. California with the win will get the bye, will play on Wednesday, and Edinboro will face Slippery Rock on Monday. Just like that, the final seconds wind down. California takes down the victory, improving to 17-11 overall, 12-8 in conference play. It's been a game.
And they'll be your second seed in the PSAC West. And a team like this, all you need is a run. They've proven themselves to be dangerous during stretches of the season. And if you can put a run together, this team can go very far.
That's going to be it from us. Hunter Garman joined with me by John Sape. Thank you, California. Have a good night. Safe travels.